Well, how are you, man?
I'm doing just fine. It's been a nice...
You're doing great. You're doing
I'm
great.
doing
You're doing
great.
great. All right.
I got flow so ugly it's about to get
What were you
mean.
saying?
It just can't be polite, you know?
I just can't be polite.
It's been a real... I mean, this podcast is never taxing or anything, but it does take up a little time.
Right.
And I'd consider this a pretty easy week.
In terms of the PCast?
In terms of this album being about 15 minutes long.
Yeah, this is definitely the one I listened to the most in preparation for this podcast. But it's weird, man, because it feels much longer than 15 minutes. You get a whole feel of a whole album in it. And I listened to it in many different settings.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so I was just every time I was just like by song 7 or 8, I'm just like, it's only been 8 minutes. I'm like, how is this possible?
Well, especially like watching that the music video that she made for this entire album. It's like a whole journey. It's a whole thing.
Yeah,
but
there's a narrative going on.
Well, what's up, buds? Welcome to another episode of Your Buds Podcast. I thought
here's the most energetic intro
sorry
that we've ever done.
I am just like coming back from a Delta 8 that I ate too much of.
Oh, was it last night?
No, it was this morning.
Oh, nice. You took an edible in the morning.
Yeah. You know, I like to keep myself on
That is
on
a
my
veteran
toes.
move. That's a veteran move right there.
Well, you know, I'm kind of an expert in dealings of Delta 8.
I dig it. I like your sultry voice right now.
It's made me a little smokier.
Hey guys, let's bring it down a little bit.
Look, this week, let's kind of hang on, huh?
Let's just barely hang on.
Calm down, huh?
Yeah, this is Brett's best Dustin Kensrue impersonation.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
This is probably how he talks. I'm guessing. I don't know.
But yeah, man. This is another episode of Earbuds Podcast. The song where two very good friends talk about very good albums for a very good amount of time.
The podcast, not the song.
Well, we could make a song.
Yeah, I mean, let's do it right now. You ready?
Yeah, all right. And a 3,
give me a
and
beat.
a 2, and a 1.
You remind me of my deadbeat dad.
Fuck off. Go away.
Fuck off. Yeah, as Brett was saying, this is the podcast where we talk about one good album with two good friends for one good amount of time.
Do you think...
Brett, what's your name?
I think it's Brett.
Can you... Okay, so you remember your name at least. That's good.
Yeah.
Who's our president?
Pretty sure it's
better
that
say
dude
Trump.
who played the sax.
Yeah, that's right. Donald Trump.
Clinton? Oh.
He is our real president. Don't let anyone else fool you differently.
Oh, wow, I don't remember him winning that second term, but all right. Very cool.
Oh, he won.
Right.
They didn't say he won, but he won.
How many times did he get what is it called when you get a blowjob from a secretary?
Oh, a blowjob from the secretary?
Yeah, it's like...
That's what they call it.
Oh, is that what that's called? Okay.
Yeah, unless you're talking about the one that happens when you're sitting on a toilet, which they call a blumpkin.
Well, that's nothing that I ever want to hear in my entire life.
Too late. Well, what do we... I know that your name's Brett.
Yeah. So far, so good.
My name is what? My name is who?
You know, I can never remember just because you have that really ridiculous Instagram name, and I can never remember which one is the name part.
Well, my real name is Jean-Luc Guitard, but I go as Lucas in
For
my
short.
avatar life. Yeah, in my real day avatar life. I am Lucas. You are Brett.
Yeah.
And we are the odd couple of podcasts. Did you know that?
Well, here's the thing. After I took my
See
edible
this?
this morning, I saw a vision.
Oh.
I was tripping. The walls were melting. I was seeing colors everywhere, and a heavenly figure, came to me in a blinding light and said, "You and your bud Lucas will forever now be the pod couple of oddcasts." And I thought that was,
Whoa.
I didn't know how to take it, but I think it's something we should definitely try out.
Whoa. That's trippy. I'm down.
Yeah, you down to try it out?
Yeah, it doesn't take a lot to convince me. I'm in.
Well, usually I just say
Convince
it's a
me to do this
vision.
podcast somehow.
I mean, yeah.
Somehow you got me to do this fucking joke.
So, Lucas, why don't you tell me one word of the artist, and I'll tell you one word of the album, and people from there can kind of figure out what album we're listening to by who.
People love that we do these types of intros.
Well, the thing is, people like to play games. You know what I'm saying? And they like interactivity.
They're like, I don't read the title of the episode when I click on it. They're just like, I'm just gonna pick one, and they mash their finger to the screen.
Here's the thing: if you're in the mood for our podcast, there is usually the first half hour we don't talk about the album at all, so it really doesn't matter.
Yeah, and we're getting started pretty early here, to be honest. We kind of went right into it.
I mean, yeah.
They're like, not much to talk about.
Well, look, I know you don't do many interesting things, and I have done a lot of things that I can't legally say to the public. So
Right.
I don't really know what else we have to talk about. Like, we did a Thrice stream last week. That was pretty neat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was fun.
We set up a merch shop, and we sold out to representatives of the UN. We're the first people to nab it, so we didn't really tell the public about that either.
Which is really cool of your uncle from the UN to buy all our stuff.
Yeah, it was really neat that he was.
It's really nice.
And it helped that we only got 10 stickers because we were confident no one was going to buy any more than that.
Yeah. I mean, it sold out in 28 minutes to your uncle. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Is someone crumpling up wrapping paper
as slowly as possible? My roommate is wrapping up all of the aluminum foil that they dropped in the kitchen. About halfway there.
This podcast gets no goddamn respect. My neighbor's vacuuming right now. Your fucking roommate is just playing basketball with an aluminum foil ball.
Well, look, when you live in the living room, you're gonna get some living stuff happening, Yeah,
that's a good point. I guess we can't choose.
Thank you.
We can only beg.
Thank you for that ensemble of noises, Lily.
Jesus Christ. It's like anytime, when we were doing the live stream and a fucking motorcycle just flew by my window, right as I was making a very poignant statement.
But we had to edit it out.
The bass guitar. Yeah, I had to edit it out because thanks to fucking Motorcycle McGee. I hate that I said that just now.
Motorcycle McGee.
Yeah, I take that back.
That's a little
today
harsh.
Though. I mean, it's one of the worst things I've said on this podcast. Today we're talking about Tierra
World.
False. Tierra Whack.
Whack World.
Album's called Whack World.
Okay.
Man, Brett, that delta is still swimming in your veins right now.
You don't know. I told you. You say a word from the artist. I say a word from the album. People figure it out from there.
Okay, so Tierra World. Look it up.
Figure it out.
This is a 15-minute long, 15-song album that is, I guess it's pretty much across the board. You just call it hip-hop.
Yeah, just
But it's pretty different.
It's hard to kind of get a grasp of what this album is, really. But it kind of shares the same. It's in the genre of hip hop. rap a little bit.
It's they definitely use a lot of different like eras of hip hop beats on it. So I think that kind of gives it the kind of like different vibe on almost, every other song or something. Because it's like you'll hear like 80s style kind of electro beats and then like a trap beat on the next one.
Yeah, right.
And Tierra does a lot with her voice, which is kind of definitely adds different vibes to each song too. Like she goes from the type of hip hop that I don't necessarily really like, which is like auto-tuned singing, to like trap beats. I'm not the biggest fan of that.
You're not a fan of Drake?
Sound. I'm not a big fan of Drake or Lil Uzi or, some of the underground dudes like Cochise and Yeet. I will say Pink Pantheress. Yeah, Yeet. I checked him out recently. Pink Pantheress, though, does a cool version of that type of hip hop. She does almost like a hyper pop mixed with hip hop thing that I'm digging her sound, but in general, I don't really like that affectation that they put on the voice and the beats that sound like every other trap beat you've ever heard.
Well, good for you. If there's a song you don't particularly like, or a vocal style or a beat, then you won't have to go through it very long.
Yeah, every song is a minute long on this record. Like, what the fuck? Like, I'm not sure when I was listening to this, I didn't understand why.
Yeah, I found out about it about 2 years ago, I think. And when I first listened to it, I was honestly frustrated. Because
it is frustrating, right?
It was kind of like, I don't know, like, who is this person? Like, what are they trying to do? Like
everything feels half-baked.
It's a little, I mean, I very much didn't appreciate it at first, but now, much later down the line, I do appreciate it for what it is, which is just kind of an amalgamation of vibes and just, I don't know, interesting parts, a very interesting and catchy just kind of jaunt, I guess.
Yeah, it's like you said, like if there's a song that you don't like, at least it's only a minute long.
Yeah.
But then it's also the double-edged sword, because when there is a song that I liked, it's only a minute long.
Right.
But it also does that thing that we talked about why we like Action Bronson so much, is that at least it leaves you wanting more. Nothing overstays its welcome, even the songs that I didn't like.
Right.
But what sucked for me the most in my journey of listening to this album, because again, like this is the one I listened to the most out of any one that we've talked about so far.
Yeah.
The journey of this record was like completely not understanding. The first two times I was like, I don't understand why this was made. I was like,
right.
Did she just not have enough material to do a full song? So she's like, hey, I got a hook and I got a verse. We can
enough.
put that out. So at first I was like, just really, really didn't get it. And then I started also realizing that most of the songs have the same formula. It has the couple of measures of just a musical intro.
Yeah.
And then there's the hook, a verse, and then either half a hook or a whole hook, and then the song's over.
Yeah, I would say that's about the formula for most of the songs on this record.
I think it is. I think that is the exact formula for like the majority of this stuff.
Which is, I think, probably its greatest fault. And a reason that I am a little disappointed in this concept, because I thought it's a very interesting concept, and you want to see how someone could possibly pull it off. And
yeah, minute-long songs is what I was expecting.
Yeah, and though I do really like this record now, I am a little disappointed by how they went about this concept, because most of these songs share a similar structure. And I think all but one song starts off with like, instruments at first. There's only one song where the vocals come in on like beat one. And to me, that's so much wasted time. And there weren't really any songs that transitioned into another, which I thought was another wasted concept on this type of album.
Right. It made it feel very unfinished.
But maybe that's what she was going for. It seems obvious to me that the concept was made before any of the songs.
Right.
And the songs were made with the concept in mind. So she did this on purpose. And like all the songs being basically isolated from one another must have also been done on purpose.
Right. It did feel like each song was telling a different story a little bit.
Yeah.
Like a different aspect of her personality, which I dug. You know, that part of it. It definitely felt like very no-namey in that way, where it was like, she's storytelling. I mean, but so many melodies on here are really good too. Like she has a great voice.
Yeah.
So there's at least that you can get on every song. Like I love on Hungry Hippo where she's like, you compliment my diamonds and my pearls.
Yeah. I said thank you, I designed it.
Like great melody. Her voice sounds really cool on that song. And she has a really like, okay, real quick. She has a very unique voice. I'll get to that. But like going back to like the structure of the songs, I agree. The fact that they're not connected makes it feel like very disjointed. And the fact that every song, I would almost say like 14 out of 15 songs without, knowing exactly, but it felt like that. They all started out with like the piano intro.
Yeah.
For 2 measures, and then she does the hook, and then it goes in. So like, it also not only felt like disjointed, but then every song sounded the same because they all had the same structure. So I'm just like, there's not much different from all this stuff. Like it all kind of like blends in.
It's weird. It's almost as if she was trying to give herself the most limitations she could possibly give herself.
Yeah,
by making
it's like
all
literally
these songs have to be exactly a minute, except for the first 2, I guess, for some reason.
And right, for some reason. And making it exactly a minute to where it's like so that means it's pretty much the same tempo every song, because every song has the same amount of hook to verse.
Yeah.
On every song.
And
so it made it very repetitive.
Yeah, and I feel like it's some interesting limitations to work with, and I don't think she pulled them off as much as she could have on this record. But that being said, it does make it for an interesting project and something that I've been going to a lot more recently. Because lately I've gotten really picky about music, I guess, and I've had a little patience for a lot of stuff. And so I just want to get a quick little, I don't know, you want to get a quick little snack. You go to the pantry and you get some salted nuts and you just put a handful in your mouth. That's kind of like what this album is a little bit.
Oh man, so many jokes I can make there that I'm not going to because I'm 34.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, so I'm not going to stoop to your 26-year-old level.
We'll see if I can suck it out of
you. How
you.
hard you're trying to get me to do that. Yeah, you will. You'll summon a fucking nut joke out of me eventually.
One of these days I'll get you.
You'll trap me. I did. With all that said, I liked a lot of the music on the record. It was all kind of stonery, kind of lo-fi.
For sure, it was very chill most of the time.
Yeah, lots of nice little pling-plings and ting-tings going on here and there, and very smooth music, very nicely produced hip-hop beats for sure. Everything from the trap stuff that I don't necessarily like to like what sounded like full band stuff going on, like in Silly Sam.
Yeah.
Where there's like a little guitar part. I love her line, fuck Patty, Patty fake.
Oh, that's like my favorite line on the album. Patty cake,
like,
Patty cake. Fuck Patty,
fuck
Patty fake.
Patty fake. Yeah, that's great. And her voice is weird as hell, but it grew on me.
Yeah, getting back to her voice and her stylings. I read an interview that said she really likes copying people's voices. Like if she hears a unique voice, she'd like has to copy it. Like have you ever watched Master of Disguise?
Oh yeah, dude. I love that movie.
Dude, I love that movie too. I think it's really bad, but I haven't watched it in a long
Terrible.
time.
Yeah.
But it almost seems like that, and so that's why there are a lot of unique voices on here. And she'll
She's all over the place, man.
She'll deliver lines differently, but in her same voice, and sometimes she'll take on a whole character, like a cowboy character. In
Fuck off. She has like this great Southern accent that she's like kind of talk rapping the whole time. But, like, it's really kind of funny, to be honest. And like same with like on Pet Sematary, on Fruit Salad, like she'll go from like kind of almost like a Tank and the Bangas type, really cute voice to like very deep throated, breathy. I mean, just on like on Pretty Ugly, she messes with her voice so much. Don't worry about me. Don't worry about me. All right. Don't have to get ugly.
so mean. Be polite.
So right. Like very goofy, but man, at first I did not understand it at all. At first I didn't know that she was a woman either. Like the first time I listened through it, I was just like, this dude sounds weird. And then I was like, oh, it's a woman. Once I started listening to the lyrics, and I was just like, oh, even weirder now. Because she puts on these affectations, this really deep-throated, breathy stuff, but I loved it after a while.
Yeah. And it's just something, like another reason to kind of go back to the album is to kind of go through all these weird stylings, and it's at least interesting. I do wish they did like
for sure
more effect stuff with her voice. Like on one of my Nar Nugs is like a very effect focused vocal thing, and I thought it was super interesting.
I mean, they mess with her voice on like Dr. Seuss.
Yeah.
And I think she kind of messed with her own voice on a lot of songs. Like she does enough, you know. Like Hungry Hippo, they mess with her voice a little bit. I said thank you, I designed it.
Yeah,
like, and it's very reverby and very like kind of 80s, like an 80s kind of effect on her voice, or like a production on her voice. And man, I mean, enough burying the lead, because I wanted to go through this conversation with you because I wanted you to know my journey of listening to this record. Because, dude, I hated it the first 2 times I listened to it. Like, fucking hated it, because it's not just like the weirdness of the concept and everything, but it's also like I didn't like the voice, I didn't like the beats. I was like, this is the exact brand of hip hop that I don't like right now. That's like huge. I'm just like, man, I really, really hate this. And then the next couple times I was like, okay, I'm starting to pick out some songs that I do like, some melodies that I do like. And then I found out that there's a whole 15-minute long, essentially short film.
Yes. Right.
That every song has its own segment.
Yeah.
In this
I was
thing.
actually I was on the fence of whether to tell you about it or not, just because, you know, this podcast is about albums, and so I don't know if it'd be fair to like watch the video and then you kind of get a different opinion, but it looks like you kind of did it anyway.
Well, I somehow found out about it, because I'm not gonna lie, I thought that while I was listening to it, like after listening to it a handful of times, I was like thinking to myself, there's something I'm missing here. Like there's something I'm not understanding about this, because I was like, there's clearly something here. I'm starting to like some of it. I'm starting to like her. Yeah. But I couldn't put my finger on, like, there's something missing that I'm not understanding about the concept of this record. I'm like, I still don't get it. And then I think just reading a review or maybe on the Wikipedia page, it mentioned there's a whole 15-minute long video that came out that coincided with these songs. And I was like, okay, I'm going to check that out. And it completely changed my opinion on the record.
Really?
Completely, dude.
I mean,
like, I finally understood it.
Yeah,
it makes so much sense when you put it in that context.
Because each song kind of gives its own vibe and tells its own little micro story. And the music videos, each music video is like a minute long to accompany the song. And there's a little like crossover between the videos at times. But it can be like as isolated as the songs are, and it just kind of exemplifies like what the song was trying to do. Those videos,
exactly. The videos make the songs make sense.
Yeah, it's like she was making this music album and these music videos at the same time. Like,
I feel like. Yeah, it had to have been either at the same time. It had to be, dude. It had to be at the same time because it's like, it's crazy how much the videos explain the music. They put it in a context that I immediately understood what she was doing once I started watching the videos. I was just like, I finally fucking get it, and it then made the album. With outside of the music, outside of the visual aspect of it all, the album feels like a soundtrack.
Yeah.
After that,
right.
So it does feel disconnected when you just listen to the music by itself. Watching it alongside the visuals, you can tell that this is one artistic piece of, like, an artistic vision. That when you separate the two from each other, it doesn't make any sense.
Right. Yeah, and it's. Like after you watch the video once, if you listen to the album, you can just kind of see the video like playing in your head so easily with the music, just because each set is like very individual and iconic, and the things they do with Tierra, both style wise and like, there are a couple of times in there when she's like modified.
Yeah,
and it leaves an impression, like on Bug's Life in the music video. It's like you don't expect that to happen, and it
looks like she got bit by like a fucking murder hornet.
Yeah,
like half of her face is puffy and like sagging down. Dude, the first song where she's kind of like the first song, which is probably one of the most like straight rap songs, on the record, and it's all she's wearing a hoodie, and the hood is covering her face, and it has like a cardboard cutout of what her face looks like. And then all of her she's getting her nails done, and all of her nails like have little charms and like drawings on them that like go with the lyrics.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just like immediate, dude, I'm no joke, like 45 seconds into it, and I was watching the video, I was like, holy fuck, I immediately like went 180 on this record.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the effect that the video had on me as well. I appreciating the music more, but then I saw this video and it just kind of like clicks what she was trying to do. And I still think this concept for an album could have been done better and could have been explored even further. But I'm glad she was the one that kind of came up with it, right? Because she demonstrates such a personality through her videos and her music. And it's just a very cool. It might even be just like a summary of this person, right? Like it like showing all sides of this Tierra Whack in her whack world.
Yeah, Tierra Whack seems like a fucking character, man. She seems really funny, and she does play like in every video. She's basically a different version of herself, a different character. But I would like to think it's just a different version of herself, and like. She does so many fun things with like the settings of each video, the outfits that she wears, the different, like, she's clearly given off certain vibes. Like on Hookers and Hungry Hippo, it's like the most like kind of gangster-ish, like she's like, really fabulous with furs and shit on.
Right, and in Hungry Hippos, like her and 3 friends are like wearing hippo hats and like plucking at pearls on someone's body. And it's just such a weird image, but it sticks in your head.
On Fuck Off, where she's doing that really funny southern voice, and saying like, "You remind me of my deadbeat dad." She's wearing like these black and white checkered overalls, and like there's a room full of red balloons, and she's cutting them off their strings, and they're like going up, and I'm just like, what a fucking great visual of just being like, it's a really easy way to be like, I'm an asshole. It's just cutting the string.
It's got a
to
very
a
like
balloon.
mischievous vibe about it, and like I could care less vibe.
Just being a little dick.
Yeah.
The one where I think it's Dr. Seuss, where she like is basically inside of a giant
right
dollhouse, and she like her body's like her arms and legs are hanging out, and her face is coming out through the window. Like she is like really, I mean, all of it. That's what I mean. Like watching all of that, like Dr. Seuss made no fucking sense to me. I didn't know why there was a baby voice
right
in the beginning of the song, and why her voice got deeper and deeper as it went on. And it like, I even was able to listen to the lyrics more because of having them in the context of the visuals that I was watching.
Yeah.
Even all her lyrics made a lot more sense, and I didn't like her lyrics until I saw the visual movie. You know, like it was really like one of the weirdest experiences I've had, and one of the like quickest 180s I've had on an artist and on a record. Like, and what's so funny is that you texted me asking me if I had seen this like 15 minutes before we recorded, and immediately I was like, I literally just watched it, and I was like, dude, you knew that if I did not watch the movie, I was not gonna get the album.
Yeah, I was a little worried just because the music of this album connects with me just because of a personal moment that I'm dealing with right now. And I know that it's not really something, I don't think it's something you're going through where you're being so picky with your music and being very impatient with a lot of new stuff you're listening to.
That's the issue though that I had with this record, was I was like, this is dangerous because I'm becoming satisfied by a minute.
Right.
I'm like, now songs are no longer going to be 3-4 minutes anymore, and now people are just going to be like, dude, in and out. Give me the next one. Like, I heard the hook. I don't need to hear it 4 more times. Give me the next one. And it's like, that's dangerous.
It's dangerous. But that being said, dude, like, I really hope she releases a full-length album sometime, because I would love to hear, she does this with minute-long songs. Is it going to be better or worse with longer songs? And she does have a couple singles out that are longer than a minute, and I personally really like them. And they also have weird music videos attached to them.
I feel like that's something that she's going to have to do from now on. It's like expected.
But, that's fine. If she has to do weird creative music videos for her music, then so be it.
Dude, if that's how she thinks, then it's like, it's awesome. It's like, yeah, I love that artistic process. It reminds me of King Gizzard. They made a music video for every song on Butterfly 3000. And they're all fucking weird and trippy, and some are goofy and funny, and it's just like, it's cool. Like, even if you commission people to do it for you, it's still cool that like the visual aspect is like part of your music.
Yeah, and I'm sure these artists have some say, and if not the main direction of how they want these music videos to go, right?
I would imagine, yeah, for sure King Gizzard, I know that for sure, but I would imagine too, like, Tierra Whack probably has, she can probably do whatever she wants at this point.
Right.
And she did have like collaborators on that 15-minute long thing that she did, which I'm sure was like, they were just collaborating. So it's just like, it's just an art project at that point. Even her album covers are like very unique.
Yeah, right.
Especially for hip hop, So, and it looks like all of her songs are like Action Bronson length, 2.5 to 3 minute.
Her other songs aren't that long as well, which is honestly something I've never understood with this genre, is like why we need these rap, hip hop, trap songs to be so long, and like the albums are always an hour and a half for no good reason, really.
Man, I listened to, oh man, I have to remember his name. I think his name's Ab Soul. And he is kind of like considered like a gangster, like weed rapper, I think. Like just kind of very trippy, like music and stuff.
Yeah.
His songs are like 6.5 minutes long. Every single one. And like, I don't need a 6.5 minute long hip hop song.
Right.
But also I need a little bit more than a minute. Like, that's what sucks, is like, now that I really like dig this record and understand it, I'm like, man, now I want these songs to last longer.
Right.
It's like, can you just like make them? Can she re-release this into just full length songs?
I mean, I listened to it, and it's just crazy to think that this is her debut album, right? She's released other singles, but this is her debut LP, and she decided to do this for it. So I wonder what she'll think of next for other albums, right?
Yeah, for sure. And I want to listen to all her other stuff. Like, I haven't checked that out, so I'm wondering, like, what her lyrical content is on that stuff, because she's all over the place on this, so clearly she can do a lot of different things,
Yeah.
But also, this was really well received, this album. Like, she got a lot of acclaim for it, so ballsy decision, but it's pretty much like
it works
critically
out.
acclaimed.
Yeah. Can I really quick tell you about me seeing Tierra Whack live at ACL?
Yeah, please. I would love to know what kind of show that is.
I never got to her singing one of her songs.
Oh, did you like take too much acid or something?
Well, I mean, yeah, but that's aside from the point. They opened up.
There's no such thing as too much acid.
That's
yes, I was on a ton of acid. That's beside. Yeah, you're like, that's base level.
But I went to see him, and there was only one person on stage, and it was a DJ. It was just a white dude playing other people's songs, like as a kind of hype track for the show. Have you ever seen any of that?
Okay. Yeah. No.
And then his computer kept overheating, just like every
God.
computer at ACL that year. And so he kept starting over, and it kept pausing and buffering and stuff.
Oh
and
my God.
Then Tierra Whack on the stage, and she was just kind of dancing to other people's music. Like, she wasn't even doing her own stuff. And I was like, all right, I'm kind of losing patience. I wanted to see how long her show could possibly be. But when you just use other people's music, I guess you can make it as long as you want.
That's really strange. So she never got to one of her songs?
I never stuck around for it.
Oh, how much did you give it?
I was there for a good 20, 25 minutes out in the blazing 100 whatever degree heat, no clouds in the sky.
25 minutes and she didn't play one of her songs?
No, because the computer kept overheating, and there was a 10-minute hype intro that they kind of never finished, and I was just tired of it.
Was this what, 2018, 2019?
I think 2018 or 2017. If I remember.
2017.
I can't remember.
Okay, because this album came out in 2015 or 20. Sorry, goddamn. Now I'm high. This album came out in 2018.
Oh well, yeah, it had definitely been out by then. So 2018 or 2018, I guess.
I wonder if she had to fill half an hour, and she just didn't have enough material.
Her set was 40 minutes long, and so that's why I was so curious to see what she was going to do.
Yeah, that's not good.
But what, you're going to turn down an ACL slot?
Exactly. Man, that had to have been it. That she just didn't have enough material yet.
Anyway, that had nothing really to do with anything.
No, that's damn. That sucks. Because I would love to see this live. I feel like if she could incorporate maybe some of the music video stuff into the live show,
right? That would be
cool.
crazy.
That'd be a whole production, right? That'd be like a Lady Gaga thing for hip hop,
right? Yeah.
And it is cool to see someone do weird shit in hip hop, outside of Tyler the Creator. Commercially, I don't see a lot of goofy stuff going on in hip hop, so it's cool to see that.
I think we always like when an artist can laugh at themselves a bit, and they have a sense of humor, and they don't take everything so seriously, which Tierra Whack definitely has that aspect about her. And Tyler does that. Ludacris kind of did that a little bit.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, with his big ass arms.
His big arms and the Austin Powers music video and stuff. But
yeah.
There aren't really too many rappers that it seems can take a joke really.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of them have a sense of humor about themselves. They're all a little the machismo thing is too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's
all
at yourself
bravado.
is weakness. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Man, with all these songs that are all over the place, like I bet we're gonna have completely different choice nugs. So let's
Yeah. Let's just get into it.
let's get into it, man. It is time. It is time. It is time for choice nugs. It is time. It is time. It is time for choice nugs. Let's start with yours, because I think they're probably gonna be totally different. Because every song is so,
I don't.
stands alone.
I think we're gonna share one, and I think it's gonna be this one.
Okay.
But I could be totally wrong. My first nug is "Sore Loser," the 13th track off the album.
Yeah, it's so funny, man. That song reminded me of "Swerve on 'Em."
Swerve on 'Em?
Music. Yeah, it reminded me of the music of it. It sounds like a Harry Fraud song.
Yeah,
with that like
it kind of has
really
that
cool synth stuff.
Yeah, that pulsating psychedelic synth thing, and I love the delivery, and the music video is just her rolling in a coffin, and like she's barely moving her lips. She's like trying to be as still as possible, and I thought it was so cool. And I just love the delivery of this song. The music is interesting to me, and it's kind of the ones she goes the hardest in without really going too hard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, she's probably got the best bars on that song.
Yeah,
out of anywhere, and she has a really cool trappy, super deep 808 bass with that, like you said, that warping, synth stuff going on. It's like very psychedelic, but dude, I want to just be riding around in a fucking badass car with huge rims and like with the windows down, and it's like just finished raining outside, and I'm like downtown, like Chinatown or something, so there's all these neon lights.
Yeah.
Like I want to say echoing off my car. I'm so fucking stoned right now.
You're so artsy.
So it's just all the lights are just echoing off of everything. Yeah, no, Sore Loser is a cool one, man, but it's so funny that you picked that one as a choice nub, because it reminded me of Swerve on 'Em, which was your favorite track on the Action Bronson record.
Yeah, I guess so.
It has a very similar beat. It sounded like a Harry Fraud beat to me.
I guess Daddy likes what he likes. You know what I'm saying?
And I think for some reason I was picturing a really cool, like, how sometimes they'll put like that type of hip hop over like an anime, like a cool anime scene.
Right. Yeah.
I pictured that with Sore Loser. I'm like, that could be on a really badass because of the wah 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 wah.
Yeah,
synth.
yeah.
I'm like, if you just had something that was like revolving like really fast and like an anime type animation, I'm like, that would be such a cool like minute-long video.
Yeah.
But Sore Loser was not one of mine.
What was one of yours?
One of mine was I went back and forth a lot, especially after watching the videos.
Right.
Because the videos made me like a lot of the other songs way more than I did before. But I love Fruit Salad.
Really?
Yeah.
That is one of my least favorite on the album.
Really?
I mean, I don't dislike it, but it's kind of got a basic. I don't know what the feel is, but I also didn't really like the music video very much. Like, it made me feel sweaty for some reason. Probably just because they're working out.
Yeah, the music video is super goofy.
Yeah, it's super goofy, and it's got like Luigi, and they're eating and working out at the same time, which was a little like gross to me.
It was, yeah, he was like, yeah, eating like using that machine that shakes you, which I don't even know what that machine's supposed to do. But it's like old school, like you'd see it like in like old man gyms, and he's just like trying to eat grapes.
Yeah, yeah. So
and she's doing all these, she's got this like, I don't know if it's a fat suit or like a muscle suit. I couldn't tell with the shirt on. It just looked like a fat suit a little bit. But yeah, like with these dumbbells and everything. I just love the melody that I think is super catchy. The nobody. And then the second part, the like, I eat all my vegetables.
I did. I get on cholesterol.
Yeah, I'm good on cholesterol. I did. It's just really, because like when I didn't watch the music videos, what I had to cling on to was like if I like the music and the melody, because I didn't like both when I was selecting my choice snugs originally. So Fruit Salad was like, that is super catchy, and I like the music a lot.
One of those ones that came together.
It was finally, it finally came all together with like, another kind of trappy 808 beat, but just very like, it has this like, I don't know if it's like an electric piano synth kind of thing underneath it. It has a bit of like a lo-fi music to study to vibe.
Right. Yeah. It's kind of got that. It's not wobbly, but seems like it's almost out of phase with itself.
Yeah, it's not wobbly. It does have a little bit of like a warp wah 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 type of thing to it. So yeah, Fruit Salad. That's funny that it's what is it about it that makes it your least favorite on the album?
I don't know.
I want to fight now. We're ear foes now officially. Ear foe song.
This is the ear foe song.
We're gonna put an ear foe song now.
Okay, and it's gonna go a little.
It's gonna become a. Yeah, it's. I don't even know yet, but our show's gonna become a morning zoo radio show eventually. I hope you're realizing that slowly. Towards. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of sound effects eventually. I'm getting a soundboard. I'm investing.
Well, finally.
Yeah. So what is it? Earphones.
I guess like that initial hook kind of got to me after a bit. Like, I don't know. It's not one of those things you can describe. It's just something that like it got old on me, and it kind of got annoying to me after multiple listens to the record. I don't know why.
Right. Okay. I mean, it's like I knew that we were gonna have pretty different choice snugs because they're all such like standalone, unique vibes.
Yeah.
So my second one was and it's like the trend continues where I like the song immediately after. Also, like my second choice snug is Pretty Ugly.
Really?
Dude, that don't worry about me, I'm doing good, I'm doing
super
great,
catchy.
all right. Like so
flow
catchy.
So ugly, about to get mean, just can't be polite.
And I love the video for it.
Yeah, it has a lot of magnifying glasses, and she's doing weird angles and putting parts of her face in it. Yeah,
it was one of the coolest ideas, like the most minimalist ideas of any of the music videos. It's like her in like it looks like a laboratory with just a bunch of different size magnifying glasses. So yeah, she's just standing behind him, putting her mouth behind him, putting her eye behind one, and it's just 2-3 seconds every shot of her just doing something different with them, and it just seems like they were like, just do stuff. Like here's a really cool fucking setting, like a very cool idea. That it's like, how have I not seen this before? Something that's like so like obvious. It would seem so obvious to do this.
Yeah,
and I've literally never thought of that or have seen it, and she just. That added a lot to the song, but that melody alone made it one of my choice snugs. The video just added to it,
and it's just an interesting idea where she's talking about this song about like how ugly her rhymes are and stuff, and she's like, "Well, how can I make myself kind of ugly but still iconic?" And just put weird parts of myself in front of magnifying glasses. It's just gonna look weird.
And whoever thought of that, that melody, man, is that's one of the catchiest melodies I've heard in a while. And the playfulness that she does with her voice, how that range that she has, that she can be super kind of high and nasally and then go down to this breathy, deep throated voice is just really cool that she's willing to do both. And the music has like these like, I called them like glitchy whispers throughout the song, that it was just going like type of stuff, that it was just like these like really glitchy. It was like, I don't know if it was supposed to be like a splash cymbal, but it would just be these like,
it's just kind of a long tailed digital crash or something,
yeah, and it would have this like, I think all of them had this secondary hit. It would be like,
like it had
really like. I'm just like, I'm starting to use my my really, really nice headphones to start listening to these albums where I'm not just like, the Apple earbuds will do. You know, it's like, it's fine. It's like I'm using these now, and it's just like that part was just like made my eyes go cross-eyed. And
it got you that tone bone,
like,
huh?
Yeah, I was like, for like a minute straight, my eyes like rolled to the back of my head. My ears were like tickling.
You were kind of fluttering up in the air, and
yeah, that was the first one before I ended up liking this record a lot. That was like the only song that I was like immediately dug.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was your second one?
Well, man, this is very weird. But your two Nar Nugs were Fruit Salad and Pretty Ugly, and mine are Sore Loser and Dr. Seuss.
Dude,
4 songs in a row, baby.
I thought about Dr. Seuss when you said when you mentioned the affectation on her voice, and you were like that you wanted them to do it more.
Yeah.
That's what this whole song is.
Yeah, and well, the beginning hook is not hard to say, but it's hard to do. And then it goes into the verse, and her voice starts off super chipmunked and just progressively gets lower and lower and lower until it gets into like a very deep, goofy kind of sounding thing.
Yeah, like it goes from she sounds like a baby. Like when she starts like doing her weird, she's like kind of rapping, but she's not really rapping.
And it just, the modulation made it feel like the further she was getting into the verse, the more morose and important the stuff she was talking about was. And like, for
sure.
some reason, one of my favorite lines and favorite deliveries is like when she's like, you know, but avant, I live in a hospital. I'm sick and tired of all these lying, you know, and it just sounds like
starts getting really deep there.
It's these little bits of like seriousness and real passion in these songs that I really love. Like on I think Bug's Life, I could be remembering wrong, but one of the lines is like crap, what was it? Let me look it up real quick. I have lyrics right here.
Yeah, go ahead.
God dang it.
It's okay. I'll edit it out anyway. You can just look it up.
All right, what song is it in? It's she's like I promise that you should tell him. Oh, it might be Flea Market. Whatever. Sorry, I thought I ought to try like listening to this album high, you know, and just seeing what happens, and I didn't think it would last this long.
Oh my god. That's great. I mean, to get back to Dr. Seuss, yeah, no, I didn't understand the vocal part, because I'm not really a big fan of that type of affectation. Like, have you heard of Quasimodo?
Oh yeah, Lord Quas, Madlib.
Yeah. So I don't like the Quasimodo thing. So whenever she starts rapping, or I guess talking, like telling a story, she sounds like a straight up like a 3-year-old. And then I thought it was cool that it did get deeper and deeper until it's like literally like this, like at the end.
Yeah.
And but then I saw the video, and the video is again like just explained the song to me.
Yeah, it's the video starts on a little miniature house that like a little girl would play in and play house in, and her limbs start coming out of different ports, and it's kind of freaky. And then the windows open, and you see her face delivering all these lines. And it just kind of makes sense. Like, the song's called Dr. Seuss. It's kind of weird and fantasy-like and just a little off, you know?
Yeah, it whenever I saw the video, first I loved the setting, like you said, like the dollhouse type of thing with like her arms and legs hanging out and her face is coming through a window. And I realized as her voice gets deeper, she's like growing up. because she's talking about. I mean, I would have to look at the lyrics too, but it just kind of seemed like when she has the baby voice, she's kind of talking about, like being a kid, like being really young.
Yeah.
And then I guess not, because she's talking about being celibate. But when her voice kind of gets a little bit deeper, she mentions like, maybe I could be president. Anything is possible. And then it gets a little bit deeper, and she's like, now I'm in the hospital. Like, none of these people are visiting me. And then it's getting deeper and deeper, and she talks about like frustration with like her love life and her relationships.
Yeah.
And then it starts talking about like, as it gets deeper and deeper, like death and like morbidity and all this stuff, and like being disappointed in like her idols and all this stuff. And it's just like, oh man, it seems like she's like growing up and it's getting darker as it goes because she's getting older.
Yeah. And it's just it's such a cool thing to do. It's such a cool effect in the way to present what you're saying in the lyrics more fluently. And also I love the music on this one. It's very minimalist, kind of just has a piano and an affected drum set with like the hi-hat kind of echoing and stuff. And I thought it was just very cool, like just very cool,
quick,
intimate,
like ping pong.
Yeah,
the music was bare, which made you focus on the lyrics a lot more. And I didn't pick up on the lyrics that much until I watched the video, and then I was just like, oh, I get it. And oh man, these lyrics are like, this is kind of genius almost. This is awesome.
Yeah. And it's, throughout this album, it's cool to see how many little topics she kind of touches on. Mm-hmm. And just like little facets of her life, little sneak peeks into her life and her way of thinking and stuff like that. Yeah.
The lyrics are kind of all over the place, like from relationship stuff to life stuff to being a woman stuff to, just kind of trying to be a little bravado and have a little like confidence and stuff. And
it goes.
Go ahead.
It can be very confident at times, or it could be very inward looking and doubtful at other times. And she kind of goes across an array of emotions as well.
Yeah, and she can be goofy too. Like some of these are weird. Like Pet Sematary is a weird ass song where she's talking about her dog dying.
Well, that's actually about her friend.
Oh man, I mean, she has a taxidermy dog in the videos and stuff. Like,
right, and so
how am I not supposed to think she's talking about her dog?
And in the music video, there are a lot of Muppet-looking animals coming out from behind the gravestones. But you listen to the song closer, like, I miss my dog, and when you recontextualize that as like, yo, my friend, my dog.
Yeah.
It makes a lot more sense.
Man, you sound so cool when you say that.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, man. We should talk like that more often.
We should say stuff that sounds intelligent more.
We should say things that are completely out of character for us more often.
Well, I don't know. I think that was pretty... That's pretty what I'm usually like, I think.
The amount that you call me dog is it's very natural coming out of you.
Yeah. No, I know.
Yeah, man. No, I could not have had a stronger 180, a more immediate almost 180 where I was finally starting to dig the music on the record, and then I watched the music video, and it just all came together, and it made so much sense. And then I also realized that Tierra Whack is in one of the weirdest like AirPods commercials that I've seen. I didn't know, like there's little versions of her talking to her. She's like, there's multiple characters of hers like in one room at the same time, like doing this weird stuff, and then she's like walking down the street with this super long scarf that's like wrapped around almost her whole body, and it's dragging for like 15 feet behind her. And the scarf delivers a line of one of her songs. Like the scarf sings, and it like has a mouth and everything. I was just like, dude.
Jeez.
And me and Christina were so confused by the commercial, but we were like, we kind of like it, and like we kind of like the music. And then I realized it was Tierra Whack. And like when I saw the music video and I connected all this stuff, and then I started understanding.
It makes a lot more sense. Yeah,
it made so much. Everything made sense. The commercial made more sense. The album made more sense. The lyrics made a lot more sense to me. Like the concept made a lot more sense in the visual when you put the visual to it. So like for anyone that is thinking about listening to this, like I would definitely say just watch the video. It's a 15-minute long short film.
Right. I think that's the best way to experience this project, this music, is to watch that video. And it's just kind of, as you said earlier, it's this one big art project.
Yeah.
Right.
It made the concept, like I understood the concept then. Because when I was just listening to the album, like I said, I was like, I just didn't understand. I was like, there's something I'm missing. There's something I'm not getting here. And then that's all I needed. Yeah. I'm so glad that she did that. Because without it, I mean, you know, this would have been a very low rating.
Well, with that said, what is your rating of the album?
What is your rating? My rating, I literally went from like a 3 something. And I felt like dirty, and I was like nauseous, like thinking about having to give this a 3 something. So I'm just like, Brett likes it, and there's something we don't both like, and I was like I felt physically ill.
That's right. Well, because I'll come over there and I'll beat you up if we ever have differing opinions.
Not just that, but like you're not going to pay me if I don't like it.
No, I'm keeping all my money this time if you don't like it.
It's just a loss for me if I don't like the record. So, I mean, I felt that was really what I was mostly worried about. But, man, I seriously, like, went from a 3.0, maybe a 4 point something to, I think I'm going to give it, like, a 7.4.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a marked improvement.
Like I said, man, I have not had this quick of a turnaround on a record. One of the more interesting things I've heard in a long time, like when I paired it with the visuals, it really did, like, it made an impression on me once I saw the visual part. Yeah.
And if you were to give a rating for just the album without the visuals, like had you never seen it, it probably would have been in that lower like 3-4 range, right?
Yeah, it would have felt unfinished. It would have felt like kind of directionless. It would have, like, to me, I would have immediately thought that she did not have enough material to write full songs. So she's like, this is all I got. I'm going to put this out and say it's a concept album. And the fact that it was like her first thing that she did, I mean, there was a lot of things I didn't understand when I was just listening to the music.
Right.
And so now it's cool because now I can go back and listen to just the music, like, when I don't have a way to watch the visuals and enjoy it on a whole different level now. So
yeah, sure.
That's not to say that there aren't things that I would change about, or like things that I didn't fully necessarily, I didn't dig all the songs, you know?
Yeah.
But man, yeah, like it's probably going to get better and my rating is probably going to be higher the more that I listen to it now because I get it now.
Yeah. Well, to take all the stuff you were just saying in consideration for my score, the visuals definitely helped, and at first I was the same way. Like I was kind of mad, like I didn't understand what she was doing.
Right, it's kind of frustrating.
Because I'm pretty stubborn for a lot of things that I don't even realize at the time. Like I expected this to be an album, and it wasn't really an album, was it? It was just something different. It was just an experiment. And so when I accepted it more as that, and I just accepted what we were given and I didn't want more, then it was a lot better. But the structure was the same in a lot of songs. They started everything, like every song started the same way.
Yeah.
There wasn't as much variety in the music as I would have liked, like the variety or the mood or like the tempo, you know?
That's what I mean. They all were pretty much the same song with a different melody, maybe slightly different like instruments being used on it. The only song that stood out was the one that had the guitar going on it. I already closed my notes, so I can't even.
I think it was Silly Sam.
Yeah, Silly Sam, exactly. That was the only one that switched up a little bit. That went from pretty much all synthesizer 808 sounding stuff to like organic instruments.
Yeah. And so with, that could have been another limitation she put on herself for this record, is that she wanted all that stuff to be the same, but I think she could have gone a lot more in depth with this concept and could have done a lot more, could have transitioned the songs, and that could have been something interesting. But I really like it, and it's just something nice. It's something real easy to put on real quick for a little music snack, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah, you go to the pantry, you get yourself a little snack, like you said.
The songs are well produced. It's nothing crazy. It's not going to give you a huge tone bone. But they all sound nice. The music all sounds good.
Give me a halftone.
Little halftone.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie. It is very well produced. The music sounds great on this record.
Yeah. I love her personality. I love her style. I love how she can change moods on a dime, like in a line, and how some of her lines really make you think and some make you laugh. So with all that said, I think I'm going to give it around like a 6, not a 6, a 7.6 or a 7.7 or so.
Dude, I thought you were going to rate it lower than me for a second. I'm like, what the fuck just happened?
No.
I did not expect that at all.
No, I don't I definitely don't think it's going to be, it's nothing groundbreaking, I don't think. And it's
I disagree. I think when you put on the visuals with it, I think it is a little groundbreaking, to be honest.
Well, I guess we'll just have to see that influence over time, won't we?
Yeah, it's true. Maybe groundbreaking does have a precedent to where it's like you've been, like the impact that you made with it, or the influence that you had from it. But man, right. I just feel like, especially in hip hop, you don't see a lot of this type of artistic vision come through, and then being pulled off. Like she pulled it off like really well. And I think like I said, man, I think my rating is gonna get higher the more I listen to it. Like,
yeah, man. And I'm honestly like, as soon as we're done editing this episode, I'm gonna watch that music video again.
It's funny, man, listening to the album. Like I said, it feels like way longer than 15 minutes. Watching the video it feels like 5 minutes.
I felt the exact opposite way.
Really?
Yeah, I thought the video made it seem so much longer, and the album was very short, because eventually, halfway through the album, you kind of figure out when this song's going to end. You get a feel for what 1 minute feels like.
Yeah. That's funny, man. I think I got lost in the video. Like I thought they left out a couple of songs, because I was just like, what the fuck? I didn't hear the Bug Life one. I was just like, what happened? And then I'm like, oh, I was like just so in it that I didn't realize it was. I had already heard 2 songs, and then like kind of my brain clicked back on. So that was like an experience for me. That's funny, man. Well, this was a great record, dude.
Yeah,
it was a roller coaster for me emotionally.
Yeah, man. It's an interesting record. I recommend you give it a shot. I'll tell you what I told Lucas, to just take it for what it is.
Yeah.
And definitely watch that video if you can.
Just watch the video. Like, have that be the way that you consume this
sure.
piece of art, because that's what makes it art, is the video. And then you can listen to the music alone, and you have a frame of reference. If you just listen to the music, it just doesn't make any sense, man. It was I love that I went through the journey that I did, but we could have just bypassed all that if you just told me to watch the video,
whatever.
So I put it on you. That
it's my fault.
Well, it's your fault, but it's also your fault that I had such a cool experience in the grand scheme of things, of like going through that complete 180 and being like, what the fuck? Like my brain can't make sense of like how differently I feel about this record, like so quickly.
Right.
Yeah. So I like that you brought this to the table, man. I thought this was a really cool album to talk about.
Yeah. Well, thank you everyone for listening to this episode of the podcast. You can find us on EBPcast on Instagram, Jean-Luc Guitard, Brett Hanrahan on Instagram. You can find our Twitch at Earbuds Podcast. You can find our YouTube at Earbuds Podcast, where we're uploading short versions of our streams where we listen to a new album every week, and then we upload even shorter versions of those streams to the podcast sites. This next week in our time, it's already happened. We're gonna do something a little different.
You guys will probably have already heard that or seen it. I don't know what we're gonna do with it, to be honest, but there's not really an album that we're interested in this week, so and a couple loose ones. So I'm really excited, actually. We're gonna do, and I'm kind of down to do this whenever you want. Anytime. I think this is a great idea for any time that there isn't an album to talk about that week. Is we're both gonna bring 5 songs that we've heard lately or just like love or whatever, and just kind of bring it, and we're gonna like go through each other's like little 5-song playlist, and I think it's gonna be really fun.
Yeah, I was thinking we could do that. I was thinking maybe if this happens again, we could go through like kind of lists. Like I was thinking from our conversation on the last episode of the podcast, like what are our 5 favorite outros of an album, and what are our favorite intros, and what are our favorite guitar solos, and just whatever stuff like that.
I love that idea.
Well, hopefully people don't put out any good albums for a while, so we can strike while the iron's hot.
Yeah, I hope so too, man. I'm tired of new music.
Ugh, it's so like I don't have enough room in my brain for all that music. You know what I'm saying?
It's honestly true. It's a little intimidating how much music there is out there, how much I want to listen to, and I'm just like, I literally have to like make this my life if I'm going to listen to all the music I want to listen to.
I honestly don't have any idea how Fantano does it. He knows like everything by every artist ever, and it's like, are you okay? Like,
I mean, he is the internet's busiest music nerd.
That's true.
It's probably what he does all day, man. I can't imagine. Like, it really does have to be. I wonder if I could do it. Like,
not like him. That's probably not suicide.
Like him. Did you see he's getting an interview with Lil Sims?
Really?
Yeah, he's interviewing her in like I think a few days or something.
He's been interviewing a lot of big names.
He's getting bigger.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome to see that. Like, I was really like, that was the first name that I saw that I was psyched for him to get that. I'm like, that's a huge interview.
Yeah.
Well, Brett, what would you rate this episode?
You know what? I'm gonna rate this episode 8.5. 8.15 for 15 songs.
I don't think I understood that rating, but I'm accepting it. It's canon now.
That is the official rating for this episode.
I think you got another wave of that Delta 8 there for a second. Oh boy.
Next episode, I think we got our buddy Luis coming on.
Dude, yeah, we need to we need to reach out to him for that.
Yeah.
But that'll be a fun one, man. Because we're going to get him. I mean, it's going to happen. We're going to talk about
track him down.
We'll track him down. If you have to go over there personally and knock on his door, you will do that.
I will do that. I got a lasso. I got a net. I got some glue. I got everything I need to trap him.
That's perfect. Just get one of those Chinese finger traps just to make it like...
That'll do it.
That way he can't run away.
To seal the deal.
Without pulling your finger clean off.
I usually get about 5 so I can incapacitate his entire hand.
How have I never seen that?
Very few people have mastered the technique.
I don't even know. Like, maybe that's like an emergency room visit just waiting to happen for all I know.
Yeah, I don't... Well, no, you can always rip the things out, but...
You can cut them, right?
Yeah. I don't think they make them... Are there professionally made Chinese finger traps? I don't know.
Well...
Maybe we'll see.
That's going to be in my Google search history soon enough. But I would also rate this episode an 8 point... I don't even know what you said.
An 8.15.
An 8.15. That's what I'm going to rate it. It was a cool journey with this record. I really liked it. Thank you so much for listening. everybody. You know, this is it. That's it. That's the end of.
Yeah, Lucas.
That's the end of the show. Brett. My dog just made a sound. My dog just moaned. I hope my mic caught that.
This
is good. And a 3, and a 2, and a 1.